Welcome back to another video. My name's Ian Phillips, a realtor in Orange County, and today we're going to look at the 3 cities that is seeing the most inflow of people in Orange County. If you're new to the channel, I talk about what's going on in the housing market here, as well as sprinkle in some broader economic videos because it all relates to real estate. Mortgage rates, what the Federal Reserve is doing, all of this definitely impacts what the housing market is doing in local areas, but most of my content is about Orange County. So today we're going to jump right into the video and talk about the top 3 cities that people are moving to. We'll talk about the housing market in the area as well, what home values are doing, and what you can expect for different price ranges in these cities. Let's get straight into it. So the first one is Irvine, and this has been a popular city for really the last 10 to 15 years. Obviously, there's some of the most amazing schools here. The public school district is very, very highly rated in California, and it consistently ranks in the top 10 of safest cities in the entire state. So what's the housing market doing here? Well, the median home value is around $1.6 million. It's taking around 64 days for a home to get into escrow, and there's around 520 active listings on the market. Now, interestingly, Irvine, the market has shifted quite substantially in Irvine. I represented quite a few people buying and selling in this city in 2025, and what I noticed was a rapidly changing market. We saw inventory double just last year. It went from like 200 homes on the market to 500 very, very quickly. And that opened up the door for my clients that were buying a home to actually get into something that really wasn't possible for them in 2024 because of the bidding war that was happening. If you're unaware, Irvine has really seen a bidding war for quite a few years. A lot of cash buyers are in the city looking for investment properties, moving their family here. So it's very difficult if you're a first-time home buyer to compete with a lot of the cash buyers that are in this market. So it is worth noting that, as you can see, 56% year-over-year change with the days on market. That signals the market has eased up a bit. So a lot of this competition has really taken a step back. Excuse me. So what's happening with the growth here? Well, in most recent population data from Orange County Business Journal, Irvine recorded a 2.7% population increase, making it the fastest growing major city in the county. It actually overtook Santa Ana to become the second largest city in all of Orange County. So the population has consistently grown here. And if you're looking for an area that is going to continue to see a lot more growth, Irvine is a good option for you. Something interesting, as I know a lot of people who are in the software engineering field, is that they have noticed an increase in job opportunities here, as a lot of companies have actually moved their headquarters to Irvine. There's a ton of startups here that are consistently looking for more and more employees. So that is important to know as well, as we are in an economy that has really been slowing down for the last year and a half or so. Job openings actually went negative. The unemployment rate has increased slightly. So if you're looking for an area, you do want to pay attention to what the local economy is doing in that city. And Irvine has a very strong economy, lots of jobs here. Headquarters have been moved here, population is growing, and there's a huge family-oriented communities here. Families move here because of how amazing the schools are, because of all the parks nearby, because of its central location. It's pretty close to North County and South County. So overall, I see why Irvine has become more popular. So why people are moving here, like I mentioned, top ranked schools in California, making it a go-to destination for families, prioritizing education, and as well as how safe the city is. I do want to point out that this is not marketing. The data backs it up year after year, and for families and buyers from higher crime metros, it is a genuine and powerful draw. I personally am getting a lot of people reaching out who live in Los Angeles that do want to make the move to Orange County, because even though they are in a higher net worth, wealthy community, they have noticed a pretty significant increase in crime, and they just don't want it anymore. So I mentioned jobs. What kind of jobs are we seeing in Irvine? Well, it's a home to a dense cluster of technology, life science, healthcare, and financial service companies. Companies like Edwards Life Science, Broadcom, Western Digital, and dozens of major employers are based here. Like I mentioned, headquarters have been moved here, so the job opportunity in Irvine compared to other cities is quite substantial. By the way, this article is going to be linked on my website in the description below if you want to read it. This is something that I put together based on all of the data that I'm seeing from a ton of different sources. Something I do want to mention is also walkability, because that has been a pretty significant priority for a lot of people. Irvine is built around its villages, each with parks, trails, and community pools. Now, while it would probably be fairly difficult to walk to a lot of different restaurants depending on where you live, you do have a lot of amenities nearby. There's a lot of free pickleball courts, tennis courts, swimming pools, basketball courts. A lot of communities are built around this. So it really makes you feel quite connected in your specific community that you're living. Now, a downside about the communities in Irvine are HOAs. A lot of people just don't want to deal with an HOA, and Irvine basically 99% of the communities do have an HOA. Now, obviously they range depending on what is offered in that community. A lot of the gated communities, you're looking at $350, $450 a month, because you do have a guard gated community outside of the entrance, and other communities where it's a single family home and they don't have gates, but they have pickleball courts, tennis courts, swimming pools, you're looking at $150 to $250 a month. So for some people, they're fine paying that. For others, they just don't want to deal with it. And Irvine, that is important to know, has majority of the communities in an HOA. Now, the second market we're going to talk about is San Clemente. And in all honesty, when I was doing my research, this was quite surprising to me. I did not think San Clemente was going to be in the top 3, but as I dug deeper, it started to make sense, which is why I put it into this article. San Clemente is having a moment that feels like it has been building for years, known as the Spanish Village by the Sea. It sits on the southern tip of Orange County, 60 miles from LA, 55 miles from San Diego. And I think one of the reasons that we're seeing people moving to San Clemente is a lot of people thinking about retirement. For example, my dad has actually moved to San Clemente because he wants to be near a beach. He doesn't necessarily need to be looking for jobs. He doesn't really care too much about what the local economy is doing. He just wants to be in a more affordable city near the coast where he can go for walks around the beach and relax. And that has been a popular migration trend for San Clemente. And actually, data from Redfin shows that San Francisco buyers are among the most active searchers looking to move into San Clemente, which is very, very interesting. So you're seeing those more higher income individuals make that move here, as well as a combination of people that are starting to slow down and just looking for a relaxing city. San Clemente, like I mentioned, is significantly more affordable than its counterparts like Newport Beach and Laguna Beach, but sort of offer a similar lifestyle. For example, the median home value in Laguna is closer to $3 million, and in San Clemente it's $1.7 million. I know, quite high, but for a beach city, it's actually relatively low. So that's a huge market for people that are looking at an opportunity for a beach city. San Clemente definitely offers a more affordable option for you. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the city, there's multiple different golf courses. You have Talega, which has its own golf course. You have the Municipal in San Clemente, which I've golfed there quite a few times. It's about $70 for 18 holes. And then you have Shore Cliffs, which was fully remodeled recently. So for a lot of those people that love to play golf, which is a lot of retirees, this has been a city that people are keeping their eyes and ears on and looking to make that move. Because like I mentioned, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, the median home value is more than double in a lot of those areas. And on top of that, what you get is substantially worse than San Clemente. You can start to get places with backyards in San Clemente, which is not very common for beach cities. If you're familiar with Laguna Beach, a lot of the homes within this $2.5–3 million price range, you don't get much of a backyard because you're up on the hill. Sure, you can get part of an ocean view. So it's a completely different buyer for those two beach cities that have a completely different price range as well. So days on market is 57 days, very similar to Irvine. Active listings, only 105 homes on the market here, but similar, excuse me, but similar to other cities, active listings have actually increased quite substantially over the last year and a half. So as a buyer looking to make the move here, opportunity has opened up. You can start to get homes below list price. There's less bidding wars happening, but still it is a city that is seeing a lot of migration, which I think personally is important when choosing which area you want to move to. Now, the third one personally was not a surprise at all, and that is Dana Point. Dana Point is really a city that, in my opinion, I was talking about this a year and a half, 2 years ago. I thought people were sleeping on this city because they're completely revamping the marina. They're putting in high-end shopping, high-end dining, and they're going to open up this marina for a lot of larger yachts, which means people with a lot of money. And those people are probably also going to want to own a home in this area at some point. When you're parking your 150 foot yacht in the marina there, more often than not, you want a permanent place to stay when you visit. Now, the city's population has grown by around 1.5% annually, consistent with the broader OC trend, but what is driving the interest is well beyond population numbers, and that is the Dana Point Harbor revitalization, one of the most significant infrastructure investments in the city's history, which is what I mentioned earlier. It's going to be a world-class destination for new restaurants, retail, marine facilities, and the project is changing how the city is perceived, and buyers are starting to take notice before prices fully reflect the upgrade. I personally think you are going to see Dana Point outperform a majority of Orange County with the median home value, as it's going to see a lot more outside investment of people that really didn't even think about this city as an option for a beach city. Now, relative to OC coastal neighbors, Dana Point is still below Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, which is another thing that is the draw of San Clemente. When people are looking for beach homes and they don't necessarily want to drop $3.5–4 million for a place in Newport Beach or Laguna Beach, San Clemente and Dana Point become the next best thing in a much lower price range. Dana Point definitely has outdoor lifestyle. There's trails, there's biking areas. It has my favorite golf course in all of Orange County, Monarch Beach. It is a little pricey. It's about $280–300 for a full round of 18 holes, but it is an absolutely stunning golf course. It has 2 holes that are basically directly on the beach. Definitely worth it if you are okay paying that amount of money for a full 18 holes. The other thing is Dana Point has some incredible beaches. You have beaches all the way down the coast, and what is a huge draw to this city is accessibility to those beaches. Places like Laguna Beach and Newport Beach, it is absolutely crowded in the summer. You have tons of traffic, and Dana Point, a lot of people are still sleeping on this area for visits down to the beach, and as a result, it is more easily accessible, at least from what I have personally experienced. Obviously, there's still a lot of people going to the beach there, but you do have more parking. I don't know about you, but when I go to Laguna Beach in the summer, sometimes I have to park all the way by the school up north, which is a 15–20 minute walk to the beach. And in Dana Point, more often than not, you don't have this issue. So what's the housing market doing here? Median home value is relatively similar to San Clemente, a little under $1.7 million. Days on market, 59 days before a home gets into escrow. Interestingly, this is the only city that is down year over year. So potentially we are already seeing this shift where more buyers are stepping into this market, causing the days on market to actually reduce year over year. Active listings, around 85 homes currently on the market in Dana Point. The beautiful thing about Dana Point, which is a little different to San Clemente, is you do have the affordable areas. I say affordable, but your entry-level single-family home there is about 1.4, 1.5 million dollars, and then you do have the polar opposite near Monarch Beach, near the Ritz-Carlton, where you have 45, 55 million dollar mansions with 100-degree ocean views. So that is what is vastly different to Dana Point compared to its counterpart in this top 3 list of San Clemente, is the wide array of options in real estate. So it already has that market for the ultra wealthy, the top 1%, where they're buying $50 million mansions, as well as it has the entry-level median income household for Orange County buying the 1.4, $1.5 million single family homes, and it has that condo and townhome market between $800 and $1 million. And in a lot of beach cities, you really don't have this huge array of options. Laguna Beach, sure, you have your $50, $60 million mansions, but your condos and townhomes start substantially higher in Dana Point, and same with the single family homes. Newport Beach, you do have a very small pocket where you have $1 million condos, 1 bed, sometimes 2 bedroom, but you also have massive HOA fees along with that. And of course, Newport Beach does have Newport Coast, which is home to the most expensive homes in the entire country. So that's kind of it for the top 3 cities that people are moving to. I do want to point out what these 3 cities have in common. Now, obviously, one is a master plan inland city built around education and employment. One is a surf town at the very edge of the county. One is a harbor city in the middle of a massive transformation. But the buyers choosing these cities share a few important things. They are buying for lifestyle, not just the price. All 3 cities offer something specific and compelling that purely financial calculations do not capture. Top schools, surf culture, or a waterfront identity in transition. They are betting on supply constraints. Each city has meaningful structure, limits on new housing supply, which is a huge factor to what is contributing to median home value growth, is there's really just not enough land to build in a lot of these popular cities. Now, Irvine is the difference between San Clemente and Dana Point in this top 3, is that there is quite a lot of new construction, but it is really a lot more north, a lot more inland in Irvine, where the land is still available, and they are focusing on that higher end luxury homes. You do have some townhomes around $1.2, $1.3 million, but for the most part, Irvine new construction is really catering to that $3, $4, $5 million price range, single family homes in gated communities. Now, the bottom line, Orange County is not one market, it is dozens of them, each with its own pace, each and has its own buyer profile. Irvine is where families plant flags for long term. San Clemente is where lifestyle-driven buyers find their version of California. And Dana Point is where the smart money is looking ahead and buying into a transformation before it is fully priced in. So that's kind of it for the video. I wanted to talk about the top 3 places people are moving to, talk a little bit about what makes each of them unique, and as well as what's happening in the housing market in these areas. Once again, my name is Ian Phillips, a realtor in Orange County. If you like this video, subscribe for more. If you're looking for an agent in the area, reach out. I'd love to chat. If you want to read a little more, you can check out my website link in the description below. And I'll see you next time.